All righty, I'd like to say hi to everybody and welcome everybody to the Life, Liberty, Happiness podcast. Um, well, a lot has happened since last week, and I'll kind of go over a little bit of that here in the opening part. You want to say hi to Woody?
Hello. This is Woody.
Woody's here with us again today, and we have a guest today. Is D.W. Lawhorne. D.W. will be coming up in a later segment, but I'm actually going to bring him in the first segment to kind of go over some of the things that we talked about last week, try to clear some things up.
That's right. Yeah, we got a lot of feedback from that one.
Yes, we did.
We sure did.
And some of those things are something I'm not going to read because it's two or three pages long. But I think DW can kind of explain that part. So, without further ado, I will tell you that of last week's show, we talked about the Elks Home Christmas light needing help. Did not get any feedback from that.
I was surprised.
I did get a couple of people contact me to just talk about it.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I remember such and such used to do that. But
I love the Elks
nobody has stepped up. And so, again, if nobody steps up, they're going to go away. So we really need the community to participate or there will be no more lights at the Elks Home.
Now, interesting tidbit, I am scheduled to film next week the story behind the Elks Home lights.
Good. Maybe that'll get some people excited.
Yeah, so look out for that video. Hopefully that'll tug at some heartstrings and, people won't, step up so it won't go away.
Good. I've got some free time coming up in the future. Maybe I can find some. All right. The next part was the Christmas parade. We talked about the Christmas parade being moved out to Liberty Lake Park. So, to kind of give an explanation to that, brought in DW, really not for that. He came in for a guest segment, but I thought since he was here, you could give an explanation to the people in the town of why we are moving the Christmas parade out to Liberty Lake Park.
Sure. Well, Diane Erb with the Central Virginia Business Coalition, who is the ones that are actually organizing and putting on the parade, came to me and said they also do the Lynchburg parade, and they had already gotten feedback from Lynchburg that due to the COVID social distancing that it probably would not happen. And so she came to my office, talked to me and said, what's your thoughts on it here in Bedford as we do it? Again, I brought up, we talked about, like Brian had brought up before, well, we had the graduation parade that seemed to go well. Christmas parade would be a little different, so we kind of talked it out. First thought was, you can ask everybody to stand on the sidewalk, social distancing, it's all good until the first fire truck and float comes by throwing candy. Now everybody's running to the street all excited and happy and, crowding up, which they should be. I mean, that's what it's for.
Yeah.
So then how do you manage that on multiple streets in the town? Well, you really can't, other than asking people to self-do it. So the easy answer would be, don't have the parade.
Yeah.
That's not the answer we want because, failure is not an option. So later that day, I was riding out to the park because we are at the beginning of starting to put up our Christmas lights at the park, not only helping with the Elks Home, but doing the stuff we do at Liberty Lake Park. As I rode through, I started to identify, well, this is an area we don't have lights that you could set somebody. Go around to the parking lot. Well, here's an area where we can have 3 more spots. I was able to go through and identify over 20 spots just riding through looking at it. So I called Diane and said, hey, can you meet me up there? How about this? How about we going to do a reverse parade, have the floats and the participants sit still, because we already know we're going to have a line of traffic coming through looking at the lights. So add in your parade to that. Now you've added a more feature this year and let the people stay in the cars and come through and go with that route.
Right.
And so she kind of put it out there on her end for how she does for applicants and participants. And right away, people started hitting her up saying, hey, that's a great idea. Now, we also got to think, oh, no, the parade has to be downtown. And believe me, everybody wants the parade to be downtown, and it will be back downtown. This is an odd year with everything going on. So the easy answer would be, no, don't do it. But we wanted to try to do something for people. It's the holidays, so this was something to try to do.
Hey, listen, you're not going to get an argument from me. 2020 has absolutely sucked.
Yes, it has.
2020.
Yeah.
Man, Sean Connery died the other day too, and I thought like, what a horrible way to like. Just
Yes.
in James Bond, like in like 2020, just is getting worse and worse. When you just think that it couldn't get worse,
Right. Then
James
Sean.
Bond.
Yes.
Yeah.
I couldn't agree with you more there.
Still
But that's a good like so you're saying the parade people, they're going to be floats where they stay stationary.
Yes,
So
correct.
so technically people can kind of dress up the floats in a different way,
Sure.
I guess. And then that normally would not be able to participate.
Mhm.
right.
And then people will just drive around Liberty Lake Park,
That's
drive
correct.
around the existing
Yes.
floats and then
Yes.
exit out.
And you can, if you enjoyed it, turn around and drive through again.
Huh.
That's good.
And
It's fun.
I
idea.
also encourage to tell people to decorate their cars when
Yeah.
they come through.
Oh, there you go.
You know, get some of
Okay.
those battery operated lights and put on them and show your spirit and your support.
Now, I think in talking with you earlier in the week, one of the things that you had mentioned was after you guys had sort of settled on that and made that kind of known,
Yes.
all of a sudden everybody else started
Yeah,
calling.
we've seen other localities in the area that kind of picked up on that idea, which is great. You know, that lets me know that here in Bedford, you know, that people are paying attention to what we're doing, and what we're doing seems to be a good thing.
Oh, yeah. No,
Yeah.
I agree with
Yeah.
you 100%. Well, good. I'm glad we got that.
That's good. It sounds like fun. It's
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
after you get over the fact
Yeah.
that it's different,
Yes.
that it's not in the charming downtown setting.
And it's not a permanent move.
And it's not a
Everybody, I get that.
Yeah.
With everybody, believe me, we want to have it downtown and do all that. We promise. This was just better than not having nothing at all.
Absolutely.
And that's what we do not want.
That's a good way of putting it.
Again, we always welcome people's feedback. We didn't get a lot of feedback this week, but
But the views, though.
yeah, what were the?
Oh my gosh! All right, so I was from a podcasting standpoint, you're always, you release it on Apple, Google, Spotify, and that's where I really look at the numbers. And you put it on YouTube for people to watch, but YouTube was, I mean, like within like a day or so, it was over 100 views just on YouTube alone, and that doesn't even include Apple and everything else. So that shows me just when you think that you know the demographic and the crowd, you don't, from my point of view. So it's like, yeah, so we had a ton, like a couple people, more people listened to it in the podcasting app on the first episode than YouTube. And then the second episode with Carter, YouTube episode. So that's very encouraging. So that's awesome. Yeah. And we keep going up. So yeah.
Yeah, I promise you this week will go up by 2. I bought my son lunch to listen to this one and gave my sister $10.
There we go. 2. There we go.
That's wonderful. But no, it's great. It's good feedback. Again, if the more we can get people emailing, the better, and we'll give that out later on in the show. But yeah, I mean, any comment, it doesn't matter what it is. If you want to comment about future episodes, great. Good ideas for future episodes, that's great. If you want to complain, whatever, now's your opportunity to do so. So we look forward to everybody's feedback.
And I did notice, not to interrupt you, but I did notice it was a comment from someone on Facebook where they mentioned the podcast. It was just that, I don't know the person personally, but they were talking about if you're not listening to it, you're missing out on getting some important details about the town of Bedford.
Good.
And then some people commented, so it was just encouraging. So I think it's a great tool. So absolutely.
Good. Well, that kind of rolls into our next episode of What's Happening. So obviously, if you weren't underneath a rock, there was an election last night.
Mm-hmm.
How'd that go?
And well, if you want me to get blunt, I lost. Trust me, I will say this, it was not a shock to me. I think it was a shock to a lot of people. I think DW can tell you, going back all the way to January, it was something that I kind of thought was on the horizon.
Yeah.
Could very well possibly happen. With that being said, I can't thank the community that did support me enough throughout the 4 years. They were always encouraging, said I was doing things in the right way, and encouraged me to run a second time. I debated that a long time. It was a hard decision for me to run the second time. and I congratulate those who won. I wish them well in the next 4 years. Hopefully, we can continue some of the work that we started. Um, my wife, my daughter Reagan, and my stepson Logan, who's at LSU, go Tigers. Um, they have supported me and missed out on a lot of. I've missed a lot of family things um, that I'm now gonna enjoy. And um, I don't talk about religion a lot, but I will say, if you want me to, I'll preach a little bit.
There you go, preach it.
It was tough back in. My wife was diagnosed with breast cancer last year, and it was a rough year for us. It sort of changed my outlook on a lot of things, and you know, it it sort of made me refocus on what's important and what's not important, and I, I kind of felt like some of my priorities were out of whack.
Mhm.
I always try to put God first, family, work, and community, and I kind of noticed. Well, I didn't notice. I mean, God pretty much put it in front of my face. Hey, you've got some things out of whack here, and you've got to get it fixed. But like any other human being, uh, you think you know better. And so I think it was pretty obvious to me in January uh, that I, I was being led not to run.
Yeah.
Really, I mean, it was heavy. DW, you can
Yep,
attest to it.
that's
I
right.
talked to you about it.
Yep.
I really wasn't. And don't get me wrong. Once I committed, I went all in.
Yep.
But he knows better. So
He does.
he chose the path that he wants me to be on, and I am absolutely 1,000% happy with that. Nothing's going to fall apart. The town's not going to go to pieces. Trust me.
And you'll still be involved in a lot of stuff we do.
Easy. I don't know.
Yeah.
No. No. Honestly, listen. There was something. I haven't been in Bedford for 30, 40, 50 years. I didn't grow up here. I moved here about 13 years ago, and got involved in the community. First out at Liberty High School with the Minutemen Club, and then I volunteered for the Main Street, worked on some projects there, and then ran and got elected. And one of the things I said when I got elected was, I'm not going to do what most do, which is spend the next 4 years trying to get reelected.
Mm-hmm.
I said, I'm just going to try to get stuff done. And I really felt like we were on the right path, and I still think we're on the right path. Now, whether or not that can continue, that remains to be seen. What happened in the election, I think, was a little disheartening.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say that it's just, I think, one of the candidates sort of caught a wave of of what was going on and kind of wrote it in, and that's fine. I've always said, once you get elected, now you got to serve.
Yep.
So for the people who did come out and vote, they need to make sure that they keep the pressure on to make sure these promises are kept. And that's one of the things that I put on my postcard was the promises I made. I've listed them. I said we were going to work hard on the budget. We worked hard on the budget. Every year, our budget, we didn't increase our budget. It went backwards.
Yeah.
I mean, how many municipalities can say that? In 4 years, we cut $500,000 out of our overall budget. Same thing. We went from $20,000 in debt down to $12,000, and we also, on top of that, have a plan to be debt free within 5 years. These were promises that I made, and we staff, did a great job, and we got those things accomplished, as well as the electric department. We went from $2 million in our checking account to $9 million in our checking account, and got rid of a lot of bad deals. And now they've set themselves up to start lowering rates and working in the right direction. I just hope that momentum continues and that we don't go back, because it is finicky. It's not given. I mean, there's not, it can go the opposite way quick. But with all that being said, now they got to legislate, and I'm interested to see, one of the things they ran on was lowering the poverty rate. I want to see how grand that plan is, because we all would like to see the poverty rate go away, but or lessen at least. So I can't wait to see. There's a lot of promises made. I want to see, and you said, I'll be involved. Yeah, I'll be involved like that. I want to, if there's going to be things that are promised, I want to make sure that they're there. There's a lot of things coming up. You've got the annexing that's coming up 2023.
2023, July 1st.
And that's not a given. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people upset over that. And if you, if you can't explain those things properly, we're going to end up in a world of mess there. And that's certainly, that's what elections are for. Elections have consequences. So, I hate it. But at the same time, I'm okay with it. I really am. Yeah. Your competitive edge doesn't like losing in anything, right? But then when you take a step back from it, I think you realize, I think one of the things that if I could do all over again, it's the participation.
Yeah.
I don't feel like we got the community involved enough. The community doesn't come to council meetings. I hear a lot, and on DW, I know you hear this, and you don't have to speak on it. I'm just saying, you hear it a lot from the community. I didn't know you guys were doing this. I didn't know you guys were doing that. Listen, the community has to be involved. If they're not going to be involved, then you're not, you're just not going to have what you want.
Yeah.
There are some projects coming up. I am passionate about those projects. I push those projects. The police department, I think we've got the backing for it. And there's undoubtedly, I think that's going to happen, but it needs to happen responsibly.
Yeah.
The parking garage and the farmer's market, it's popular. I think people want it, but I'm telling you, it's not a given. It's not something that council just signs off on.
Yeah.
So if people don't get involved, it's not going to happen. I can sit here and tell you right now, there's a 1,000% chance the parking garage and farmer's market will not happen unless people show up to council.
Yeah.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
So if you're one of those business owners downtown that thinks we need parking, you get up out of your shop and you go to council meeting and you tell people what you need. If you're one of those people that works at the courthouse and you're tired of, whatever, you gotta speak up.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so that's got to happen. And if people are passionate about that, I think things will change. But if not, that's going to go away, just like it did in 2004. It was brought up in 2004. Here we are, 2020, and we're still talking about a parking garage.
Yeah.
So
you bring it up, it gets a little bit of excitement, then everybody just kind of almost like the Elks Home right now. Oh, yeah. And then all of a sudden it kind of dies down and there's no participation in it, right?
Well, that, and you just, you assume that it's just going to happen.
Yeah.
But, council, listen, there's a lot of moving pieces there. Not everybody agrees. And just because you vote on something doesn't mean you think it happens that way. You think, oh, well, they voted on it, it's going to happen. No, it doesn't necessarily mean that. There's a lot of moving parts there, and you have to see these things through. And the only way you're going to see them through is to show up to council, because I heard a lot my 4 years of, well, I talked to such and such in the community, and they don't think that's a good idea. Well, I've got no way to say that that's not correct. That could be true. At the same time, I got no way to prove that it's not. I mean, so unless people physically show up and stand in front of that microphone and say, I'm such and such from Bedford Avenue, and I think a parking garage is a good idea. It doesn't do you no good to stand behind a keyboard and put it on Facebook.
Yeah.
Because they're not listening.
Yeah.
You've got to stand face to face and say it. And trust me, when they start seeing that, things change. A prime example is the civic sign. The civic sign was taken down within a month.
A week.
A week. Council chambers were full. The sign went back up. So it can be done.
Yeah.
It's just, you got to be involved.
Yeah.
And listen, it was very moving for me. I got a lot of emails, a lot of text, and then on Facebook, a lot of people, saying how they were shocked and this, that, and the other. And it was moving. I mean, I appreciate that. And I really do. Sincerely, I hope I represented them well. I tried to. I tried to represent everybody, whether you're Democrat, Republican, it doesn't matter. I just tried to represent the town of Bedford, and I got a lot of positive feedback from that. But those people who sent me positive feedback, you have to show up.
Yeah.
You have to, or it's not. Nothing's going to change. DW knows I've talked about this many times on council. Whether you like it or not, Bedford is prime to grow. It has to. It's between Lynchburg and Roanoke. Eventually, it's going to start. People are going to start moving here. Case in point, I mean, we have Thursday night. I think is Planning Commission is looking at 234 new housing development in the town limits. Man. 234.
Yeah.
Okay, that's not small.
Yeah.
It's going to be done in phases, but I'm just saying it's coming. So if you're not proactive, it's going to be here, and then you don't get to decide what it looks like. It's going to decide what it looks like. If you're proactive, you can be involved in the decision making on how these developments look, how they react within your community, and the type of developments that are done. Whether you're going to end up with a poverty rate higher or lower, you can change that. In local politics, that absolutely can change, but it takes involvement.
Yeah.
And so that's all I'm going to say about that subject. But I do have some free time now, so this podcast should be.
I think people forget that too. I think people forget just how much time is spent like that. Yeah. I mean, like every meeting, committee meetings alone. Yeah. Like I'm not even involved in that. I just live stream and I sit back and I'm like, you're always involved, always. So I can absolutely see how, I mean, like you said, the competitive edge, yes, but then in the end, you're like, oh, man, I get a little time now.
But also, we have talented people here.
Yeah,
and I'm not asking them to give up their time. All I'm saying is, if you want your community to be, which Bedford already is special, but I'm saying the growth is coming and you need to shape how it looks.
Yeah.
We have some talented people. Dave Cincinnati is on the Economic Development Committee. Jonathan Buttram. I mean, genius. I mean, if you ever talk to that guy, he's phenomenal. I mean, and I could go down the list of one right after another of all these people that we have. Jim Messier. I mean, you go to those are the people that I think that if we had those people involved more, and they're already involved, and I'm not trying to put pressure on them. I'm just saying, I think we need to have more competitive council races and not just
I think you probably run into the same thing I have when you run into the community and talk to people when you're out and about. And they start telling you some ideas they have, and you go, man, that's a great idea. Why don't you come get involved and bring that idea to the table and help it? Well, you hear all that.
Yeah.
But you run into a lot of people because your best ideas come from people that are here every day, seeing that it's not from bringing somebody on the outside, a consulting firm that you're going to pay. And, I mean, that stuff works for design and stuff like that. But for an idea, I mean, you drive these streets every day, you're around these buildings every day, everything. You have ideas and know what works and what doesn't work.
Mm-hmm. No, I agree. You got to speak up, and a lot of good things are being done. I'm in no way being negative about it. We have a lot of positives. I just, I think we need more involvement within our community, and things can and will change. We're extremely efficient. Like, if there's one thing I can honestly say I'm going to miss the most, it's the staff.
Yeah.
Like, I've always grown up being a conservative that government wastes money and blah, 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 and it does happen. I'm not saying it doesn't, but I will say in Bedford, we're fortunate. We have a staff that is talented, and I'm not saying it because DW's sitting beside me. I'm saying,
yeah, right.
Yeah. Did you pay him too? You took him to lunch.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I figured.
No, because we really do, and they're very bright people, and they want. They don't want to sit in a chair and get paid.
Yeah,
like they want. I'll give you an example. Sonia Jamie's with the who's a finance director.
Yeah,
She comes to us saying, "Hey, I want to win a budget award, not just pass a budget and move on to the next year." She strives for us to be at the top of how budgets are done.
Yep.
And us on council worked hard to get that done. And DW with Public Works, I don't think people understand all the jobs they have. The town doesn't have different staff for Public Works, meaning they don't have a grass crew, a garbage crew. They're all the same people.
Yeah.
And they do everything every day. And they're a great group of people. Same thing with the electric department. Your power goes out, they fix it right away. I mean, I can go down the list, man. Our staff is top notch. And here's the thing: if we take advantage of that, they're not guaranteed to be here forever.
That's true. They can, yeah.
They're talented,
right.
and I promise you, headhunters come every day looking for that. Yeah. And we have it here, and we shouldn't just assume it's always going to be here. Because I can tell you, one of the things that I was shocked was some of the contracts that we had.
Yeah.
And that was from previous people that are not here anymore. So it's not guaranteed that they're looking out for your best interest. But this staff, I can tell you, I'll miss them a lot. And I've told them, I saw a few of them today, and they were, but I.
And one thing I'll say about Brian, not to interrupt you, but every committee meeting I've been with him on, every project, not only does he bring ideas to the table, he brings fun. He makes it fun to work with that project. And then one of the other things that's fun, and Brian can tell you, is that to find out how the inner workings and stuff comes. I mean, like when we push snow, Brian come out ride in the snowplow to see what it's like. And I think when he does that, he'll tell you, boy, that's not like how I thought it was.
No, I found that out a lot. I did that a lot. I went over to John with the electric department. I sat down with him and I learned things. I took a class on the electric department to get certified, just to learn about it. I rode with DW. I've
Road police department.
Yeah, I mean, so you get into there and you learn things, and you're just like, wow, this isn't just a simple 8 to 5 job, and they go home. I mean, pay attention next time if you're out in the public. Go to an event, whether it's Centerfest or look around. Who's picking up the garbage? Who's cleaning up? Who's putting barricades out? They're not little minions that just walk around and do it magically. They're Public Works and police department, and they have families they'd love to go home to on holidays, but they're not. They're doing the work, and I don't think people recognize it. So
you're right.
All right. Absolutely. Well, that leads us into our next segment, which is our guest segment. And you guys have already been introduced, but DW is our guest today. And we didn't invite him on to talk about these things. It just happened to be kind of perfect rolling in with what we had on our topics. So, first of all, DW, I'm glad that you're here.
Thank you for inviting me.
Yeah. So, one of the things I'd like to know is, how did you end up here in Bedford?
Well, I was already working in local government in Lynchburg and had about 4 years in, and knew a guy that I worked with in Lynchburg. He came to Bedford. Mm-hmm. And then after a while, there was an opening here. Talked to him about it, and he's like, I think you'd be a good fit here. Come up and talk to me. So I did. And, saw what I liked in Bedford. The hometown feel and the closeness. And, I love Lynchburg. Don't get me wrong. Born and raised there. But it was just a totally different atmosphere.
Yes.
And that immediately grabbed my attention. And what it's like, and I tell you, like, if you was a neighbor, I walk outside to bring in my trash can or something, and I see a bottle laying on the ground beside yours and your cart blew over, I'd pick it up for you because I'm your neighbor. Mm-hmm. Well, that's the kind of stuff you see throughout all of Bedford.
Yeah.
And, not only in front of your house, but, I've seen people stop their cars on a windy day and get out and pick up something out of the middle of the road for you and stuff,
mm-hmm.
Do stuff like that. So that was a big attraction to go ahead and stay here and call Bedford my home. Oh, and,
wow.
26 years later, here I am.
Still here.
Still here.
That's right. Yeah. All right. Well, obviously, for those who don't know, DW is head of Public Works for the town of Bedford. And I've always been curious, is there, like, what is something that the Public Works does that people in the public may not know that is part of your job? Like, is there something that, you know?
Well, first of all, I need to give kudos to the staff at Public Works. I have a great bunch of men and women that are dedicated and share the same passion for Bedford as I do and doing their jobs. So that helps a lot on everything. But there's several things. One thing that comes to mind real quick is when it does snow in Bedford. We got lucky last year and didn't have any snow. But when it does snow, those same people in the snow plows is the same people that pick up trash when they get done, and they're going to be in a plow because we're working around the clock. But a lot of people don't realize downtown, after nighttime falls, we plow the snow, pile it up in the middle, shovel the walks. We haul all the snow off. So when you come downtown, you might look and go, well, wow, it didn't even snow downtown.
Yeah.
Well, it's not that it didn't snow. It's we picked it up and removed it. And, we not only clear the sidewalks, because downtown there's nowhere to push it to go. So it's got to be removed. So we work all night to remove that. It's frustrating because you have a handful of people and you get a deep snow, and I've had this happen. So you only get 2/3 of downtown. So the next morning you get a phone call, somebody, well, you did all the rest of the town. You didn't get in front of my place. And after you saw these people just really working hard all night.
Yeah.
But it takes a big effort to get all the sidewalks and the streets cleaned so it looked like there's nothing there.
Yeah. No, I know it takes a lot of effort. I've seen it firsthand.
Yeah.
I could probably tell a story.
Yeah.
The night you're talking about, I think we got 14 inches of snow.
That's right.
And so DW kind of goes out beforehand and buys cookies and sandwich stuff and stuff like that, and keeps where I'm going.
I know you're going there. Yeah.
So he keeps this stuff in the break room so that, because they're going constant, nonstop.
Yep.
And so occasionally they'll come back to the shop just time enough to grab a sandwich or something and then eat and head back out and just keep doing it. So he had bought fudge rounds. Is that right?
That's right.
And had them sitting on the table. And I did not eat one of them. Not one.
They're so good.
So
you ate more than one. That's why.
No, I did not. So later on, I find out that one of his staff members, Amanda, those were basically for her, but somebody had eaten the whole package, and I got blamed for it.
Yep.
So,
because she used to complain like, "Why do you always buy the Walmart chocolate chip cookies? Why don't you ever get something like fudge rounds?"
Yeah.
So I buy some fudge rounds.
So she goes to get it. There's none there, and then but I get blamed for it. So DW has a Christmas dinner, I think it is.
Yes.
And so, or a luncheon.
Yes.
And everybody's invited, from the town. And so I had talked to him about it because people were giving me a hard time about eating her fudge rounds. I did not. So I had heard about it. I went and bought a package. And so we're standing in line. And I just reached in front of her and I was like, "Here's your fudge rounds you complain about." Man, the look on her face.
Yeah.
She just immediately turned red, and the rest of Public
funny.
Works just died laughing.
That's funny.
And so, we all.
But that's good interaction when you come down and do that, because, a lot of times the employees see, the elected officials as one way, but then when you come down and do that, they really find out you're just a regular person.
A regular person,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Just a regular knucklehead like the rest of us.
That's exactly right.
That loves fudge rounds.
So and that leads me to my next question, which is what? Because I know you get a lot of requests from citizens.
Yes.
So what is the craziest thing a citizen has asked of you?
Oh, man, this is a good one.
Yeah. There's several, but probably one of the good ones is several years ago we went to the cart system for trash. It used to be you could just put out bags, and that upset a lot of people. We went to the cart system, but trust me, that there was many factors that went into that. One is the cleanliness. So now you got everything in a trash cart. It's not blowing. The animals don't get in it. The other thing is, the industry, the whole trash industry, is going to trucks that automated that pick up the carts to save people's backs, stuff like that. So that's where we was headed. And so we put out these letters with the carts and said, put everything into your cart because we're going to stop picking up loose trash beside it, blah, blah, blah. And we had these little cards made up. So if somebody does it, they leave a friendly reminder card. Hey, we don't pick stuff up. You need to do it. So I had this guy call and, hey, they keep leaving this note on my thing. They won't pick up my trash, but it's not my trash. I'm like, okay. And so I knew what day his trash was on. So that morning I rode over there to ride down his street. Sure enough, there's 2 bags beside his cart. So I know what's coming next. Mm-hmm. Sure enough, they leave him a card. He calls. Obviously, the guy has some issues. So he calls and he asked me to come over to his house. And he has a ladder up against the eave of his house to the attic vent part. And he said that there had been some people that are squatting in his attic, and they're the ones bringing the trash out. And he wanted me to ask them to leave.
While you're here.
Yeah.
I know you're not busy, but.
So I told him that probably wasn't up in my line for that. So Chief Foreman come over and had a talk with him about that. But he was convinced there was some.
Wow.
So.
That's.
See the questions that Public Works gets.
Yes.
DW has to. I have. Yeah.
And then the other thing is too. We not to interrupt you, Woody. I'm sorry,
no,
but we have this online reporting system where you can put in a work order request. Like if there's a pothole in your street, we have a pothole request. You go in there, hey, there's a pothole in the street, and those things come to a generic email that says Public Works at BedfordVA.gov, and they go to several people. So if somebody's off, they get it, whatever. Quite often you get those requests, and it just amazes me because it'll have their part of your address stuff, and it's Bedford, Texas, Bedford, Pennsylvania.
Yeah.
And so I'm nice and reply back to these people, hey, sorry, this is Bedford, Virginia, that you got in touch with. And then they'll reply back, okay, well, what's the number do I need to call?
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Can you Google that for me, DW?
Oh, yeah.
So that's an odd online request.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So you are the official squatter remover of Bedford? Is that
well,
that here? Bedford, Texas, Bedford in general?
Yeah. All those.
Job description?
And then I refer to the chief. So.
All right. So for those of you who don't know, DW is a practical joker. I found this out firsthand very quickly when I first got on council. So I wanted to know, what is your best practical joke that you've played on someone?
Well, probably my best I can't put on here, so I'm going to go with my second best.
The first one's incriminating?
Yes, and there's pictures to back it up. But, when I worked in Lynchburg, there was a guy I worked with who was a great guy, and he used to rib me a whole lot and give me a hard time. And he even told me one time we was first working together, he's like, you've been causing me problems since you was born, because I used to work with your dad, and he called in sick that day when your mom was having you, and I had to work over. And like, okay, whatever, But at the time, at the holidays then, they would give you turkeys. They give you a choice of turkey or ham, at the holidays, which was cool. And so they came around, and we was working, and they gave us our turkeys, And he thought it was good to rib me because his was 2 pounds bigger than my turkey. Okay. But he just really loved that. And he had wrapped it up in like the shopping bag, whatever, put tape around it, put his name on it, stuck in the refrigerator, and pointed his finger at me and said, you better not swap my turkey. That's my turkey. Leave me, blah, blah, blah. So I spent the next 30 minutes taking old newspaper, balling it up, shaping it, putting tape around it to shape it the same size as that turkey, and put it in a bag, put a piece of tape around it, put his name on it so it looked identical.
Yeah.
Of course, he's on the other side of the shop. I see him, and I just kind of whistle for him. Hey, I grab mine up. That's the newspaper thing. And he sees it, and he starts hollering, coming. And I just start swinging it like I'm getting rid of just a fast pitch ball. And right as he gets to me, of course, the garage door was open. I just chuck it right out in the middle of the road, and the truck hit it.
Oh, my God.
And he was totally upset.
Oh, I can imagine.
Yeah.
That's great.
It was all fun. So.
Well, if you could choose one person to spend a day with, who would it be, and where would you go?
Mo Howard from the Three Stooges.
Oh, yeah.
I'm a big Three Stooges fan. but I've always been intrigued by Mo because not only was Mo a comedy genius, good family man, and a very smart businessman who was very successful off camera in business stuff.
I did not know that.
Had the pleasure to talk to both of his kids on several occasions. I've met them at the Three Stooges convention that I go to. And
Okay.
made it even better.
Yeah.
I think I would just spend the day sitting outside on the patio in the chair, just picking his brain.
There we go.
You know, for jokes and, you know, financial stuff.
That's a great answer.
Yeah.
There's some really good answers to this.
No,
That's
I
a
know.
great question.
Yeah. And you have a kind of a pre-notion of who you think,
Yeah.
right? And then that comes out, and you're like, "No, I didn't see that one."
I did not. Yeah, I didn't call that.
I didn't see that.
Wise guy, eh?
So no, that's great.
Yeah.
Well, DW, thank you for coming on the show.
Thank you for having me.
And we do appreciate everything you do. And we will certainly have you back on, and probably not as a guest, just as someone to come in and talk and
I'd be glad to do
enjoy.
it. Thank you for your service. And
Yeah.
you know, I'd like to tell people that Brian not only has served this community well, but you know, over the years I have grown to know him to become a great friend. We've sat down and had many conversations, not work related, whether it be racing, because we have a different opinion on that for sure.
Yes.
But I also was able to get him to discover that there's things that go over in the sky.
That's right.
Called a space station that he didn't know happened.
I had no idea until I was sitting there watching it one night, and I thought, "Good Lord,
Man, that's amazing, isn't it?
No, and it's beautiful here.
Yeah.
Like you can see it. It's pretty cool.
Another perk of Bedford.
That's
That's
right.
right. That's exactly
Beautiful Bedford.
right. Again, thank you for coming
Yes.
in, and we look forward to having you back on in the future.
Yep. Thank you.
So our next segment that we do, I don't know, you may not know this, Woody. You're younger than I am, but as a kid, I used to listen. These segments used to come on the radio called Paul Harvey.
Oh yeah.
The
Yeah,
rest
Paul Harvey.
of the story,
Yeah.
right? And I wished I could type what he used to do, but the segment that we do is called Nobody Knows, and I wished I could tell it like Paul Harvey used to tell it. But here's something. Each week I try to find something that nobody knew. You know, most people would know. There's some people, obviously, they're going to. But so this one, I think, will shock some people because I've asked a few people, and they did not know either. The longtime residents.
Okay.
So, do you know Walter Reed
No.
Medical Center?
Yes, I've heard
Which
that
is
name.
where all
Yeah.
of your soldiers, I think, that are injured end up at Walter Reed Medical.
Yep. And that's where Trump went when he got
COVID. COVID. That's
Yep.
exactly right. So Walter Reed lived in Bedford
What?
in 1860 to 1861. His father was the Methodist minister here in Bedford. He lived on 524 Longwood Avenue. He planted a tree, the father did, and that tree is there still today, fully grown, and you can see it from Longwood Avenue. Yep.
Man, that is amazing.
Walter Reed. And just a little bit about Walter Reed for those who may not know. He was famous he was a pathologist and a bacteriologist. I hope I said that right.
Man, I can't even
It's hard to
pronounce
say,
that.
bacteriologist.
I'm not even going to try to say it.
But he was kind of known for the, I guess, determining that the mosquito is what transmitted the yellow fever. So once they found that out, they were able to, I think, cure people.
Yeah, that's a big discovery.
And so, of course, the hospital in Washington, D.C. was named at Walter Reed, and he's buried at Arlington National Cemetery. But, yeah.
He
So
lived in Bedford.
Absolutely.
Man,
right on
that's
Longwood
awesome.
Avenue.
Wow.
So that is, that's something you didn't know, Bedford. You do now.
They would do now.
And again, would he give out the email address and stuff so people can feedback on that and other things that we've talked about on the show before we finish and wrap up the rest of our stuff?
Absolutely. All right. So the email address is lifelibertyhappinesspodcast@gmail.com. Or you can go to the website, which has the podcast on it, and you can contact us through that, which is lifeliberty.us. And we do have a Facebook page. We need some more likes on it. So search for Life, Liberty, Happiness. Like us, comment. We post the episodes on there. Make it super easy.
Okay. All right. And then our business highlight this week. Each week we try to highlight a business here in town. So this week I'd like to highlight People's Furniture.
Love
DW?
the people at People's Furniture.
Yes.
Yes,
That would be
absolutely.
Brian Reynolds
And Kim.
And
and
Kim.
Kim.
Yep.
And they're wonderful people. I have had a chance to sit down and speak with Brian on numerous occasions. One of the things being the parking garage. But very nice gentlemen. They run a beautiful furniture store here in town. If you're in town and in the market for furniture, you should definitely check them out. Go in. Carter Garrett, talking to him last week. He visited there and bought a couch during Centerfest, as a matter of fact, he said.
They're good people because I have been doing their commercials for, since I started.
Oh, really?
Like about
I did not
about
know
4
that.
years. Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
see,
so-
people are going to think that we do that because of that. But no, I did
No
idea.
idea. Yeah. They've always been nice, and they've always, there's obviously TV stations you could go with, and they've, and every time I've come up, so they're wonderful. Absolutely. That's a
Okay.
good business to highlight.
Well, last thing is, we always like the Cool Club, who's in, who's out. We didn't get a lot of feedback on this last
And y'all,
podcast. So unless you do that, I did get I think a text or something on Facebook of a future episode, but we'll address that in the future as to actually have a future episode. And other than that, I got a long email from Diane Erb. And Diane, I wasn't going to read all of it. That's why I had DW in here to explain it. So, but thank you for your feedback. And you're already in the Cool Club, so
there we go.
you're okay. But please do email. Tell us what you think. Give us ideas. Criticize. Do whatever you need to do. We like the feedback. It makes the show better, and that's what we're striving to do, is to be better and provide a better show. So that'll wrap up this week. Woody, you got anything?
I'm good. Y'all just subscribe.
Mm-hmm.
Subscribe in Apple for one, or Google if you have Android, Google, Spotify, YouTube. Just spread it and let the information get out there. So internet, do your thing.
All right. Next week, we'll have another good show. I'm sure we'll have plenty of material to go over, and we'll release who our guest will be next week. I know Reagan and my family are excited because next weekend we will be leaving to go on a journey.
Nice.
Yep, we will be heading down to Louisiana to visit my stepson who's at LSU. We will. We're going to take we have an RV, so we're going to take our motorhome through Tennessee down to Memphis. Now, here's the funny part.
Better take a boat for all the hurricanes that come.
Exactly. So I'm talking to my stepson, and I said, "Hey, we're gonna head out on Friday. We're gonna go to Knoxville, Tennessee. We're gonna spend the night there, and then we'll go to Memphis the next day." And I said, "I've booked 2 days at Graceland." And he said, "Oh, that's nice. What is Graceland?"
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that's right.
Ow.
How did you not know that?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I'm
Yeah.
like, Elvis? And he goes, "Oh, I know who Elvis is, but what's Graceland?" And I'm like,
Wow.
"All right, I'm done, man."
Yeah, that's it.
Like,
Yep,
I don't
you're
know
out.
what to say.
Yeah.
So,
No.
I'm
Oh, that'd
looking-
be great. Graceland is amazing. Like,
no, I'm so looking forward to that. I've never seen it either, so
Yeah.
I'm excited about that. So we'll be 2 days there, and then we'll leave Memphis. We'll head down to Louisiana. We'll spend the rest of the week down there. He leaves college for that. That's his last week before they go back in January, I think.
Wow.
So yeah, he'll be coming home. So we'll leave that weekend, and then we're going to the Outer Banks for a week
man, you're
with
hitting
my-
it hard.
with my family. Yeah, my mom is a beach person. My daughter can tell you she is.
Reagan is over here cheering, by the way, for those of you who cannot see.
She is a beach person like my mother, and Mom didn't get to go to the beach this year because of all the COVID
Sure.
stuff that was going on. So she said, "Look, instead of Thanksgiving, why don't we just go to the Outer Banks for a week and family can spend time together?"
That's
So,
a great idea.
Awesome.
Yeah.
yeah, it was great until I started Googling how far it was from Louisiana to Nag's Head.
That's what you got an RV for.
That is why. So
Pull over and sleep.
So I decided we were going to leave on Thursday from LSU, so take a couple of days and get there.
Does Ashley drive the RV?
DW, you know the answer to that.
I know. I want you to tell all these listeners out there.
Hot mic on the mic.
Before we wrap up, my wife and I had talked about this for ages, about purchasing an RV. And we always decided we were going to do it once we retired. But when Logan got accepted to LSU, it was kind of like, why wait? Why not do it now? Spend some time in it and whatever. So it's 38 feet. So it's not a small deal, right?
It's pretty big.
And everybody's kind of, all right, you're going to drive that thing? And I'm like, yeah, I don't know. It's not a problem. I mean, I drive heavy equipment here and dump trucks and stuff. So shouldn't be that difficult. And I didn't find it difficult, but it's really nice. It's air suspension. We're driving down the road. I think it was Alabama. And on the interstate, there's not a car in front of me. There's not a car behind me. And it's just a straight stretch. So I stand up. I'm driving, and I just stand up. And I said, here, take the wheel. It's on cruise control. There's nothing you have to do. I said, I'm going to go use the bathroom, and I'll be back. And she's like, what? What do you mean? And I'm like, listen, it's not this difficult. You steer it.
Yeah.
You're not turning. Well, I'm not asking you to back in.
Just go straight that way.
That's it.
I'm pointing in the right direction.
I hadn't made it past the refrigerator before.
Oh my god!
And I'm like, I turn around and she's like, just hurry up. So I'm back there trying to use the bathroom. So of course I got to clean up everything afterwards. And so I finally get back there, and the sweat beads are rolling off her face. She's so nervous. And Alabama doesn't exactly have the best road system when you're on the interstate. Like, there's a pothole that if you hit it the wrong way, it'll jar your teeth. And, I get... So she's like, don't you ever ask me to drive this thing. So, yeah, DW knows that story. Yeah.
So you cannot use the bathroom the whole trip on the road. See, you got to hold it, Brian.
You should have filmed it, man.
Yeah.
RV too.
That's
I'm a guy, and I'm sure y'all probably like this.
Life, liberty, happiness on the road.
That's right. We should do a road show.
That's right.
But I'm sure you guys are like this, or at least I am. Once you get in, we're not stopping.
I'm not stopping. I want to get there. I am locked in.
The only reason I would ever stop is to refuel.
Yeah.
And when you're refueling,
I
get, I'm going to go inside and use the bathroom. Or no, I have a bathroom now.
You want to tell us about your first refueling?
No, why do you have to bring this stuff up? If you're talking about me not being able to get it to work?
No, pulling up to the wrong pump.
Well, yeah.
You found out there's a difference in
it was
diesel and.
All right, it gave me two options.
Yeah.
See, you. All right, it gives you two options when you're fueling.
I bet I won't be asked back no more.
Yeah. It says now. This is at. I'm a Good Sam's member, so plug for Good Sam's if you're listening. We will take your money, but Good Sam's. I'm a Good Sam's member, and they tell you go to Pilots or Flying J's, and you get a certain percentage off your fuel. Well, I don't know if you've ever been to one.
Yeah.
It's intimidating.
It really is.
Because there's truckers. These are professionals.
Yep.
And there's a line, so you don't want to be in their way. You want to get in, get out of their way because you know they got a job to do. So I pull in, I get out of the RV, and I go over there, and I'm looking at the thing, and I'm like, huh? So I slide my car in, I slide it out. It keep asking for reward points. And I'm like, no, skip.
Give the gas.
And then it gives you a choice. It says diesel.
On-road, off-road.
No, it doesn't even say that. It says diesel or reefer. I'm not lying. And so I click diesel. Then it asks for a reward thing. And I'm like, no. And then it gives you an option again, diesel or I kept doing this, and I'm getting aggravated because it won't let me just pump diesel. Oh, it kept wanting me to use DEF.
Yeah.
The what is the DEF anyway?
That's the fluid for the exhaust fluid.
Okay,
gosh,
it's a new
terms. I don't even know.
It's for the new
reefer.
It's for newer diesels. It's not for an older. My RV is not brand new, so I can't use this stuff. So it kept asking me for that, and I'm like, no, I don't want that. So I'm getting frustrated, and people are waiting. So I was like, all right, fine. I'm putting reefer in. So I fill it up. And I was like, man, didn't take as much as I thought it would. So I get back in the RV and we're heading down the highway. And I look at my wife and I'm like, Ashley, can you look up what reefer is? And of course, my wife, being a general district clerk, looks at me and goes, you don't know what reefer is? And I'm like, no, it's asking me like diesel. Do I want diesel or reefer? And she's like, what are you talking about? So she Googles it. Turns out it's off-road diesel.
Ooh.
Right?
Yeah.
I didn't know. So I'm like, that's not a good idea. I was like, man, you can get in trouble for stuff like that. She's like, really? And then she keeps reading and she's like, oh, Brian. She said, that's like a $10,000 fine. And I'm like, oh my Lord. Now.
That's why he got her behind the wheel.
That's it.
So
That's
he
why he didn't have to go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
Well, apparently it's not just where it burns off. You put a new, it takes a while for that stuff to get cycled out. So, of course, my whole way down there, and I kid you not, at least 3 times, police got in behind me. And I thought, oh, no. And they passed me and pulled over somebody else.
Yeah.
But there were 3 times I was nervous.
You were
I'm not going to
sweating.
lie. And I don't know, what do you say? I accidentally put it in. They probably hear that all the time.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was a pure accident. I don't know what. So, needless to say, I don't go to Flying J's anymore because I can't take the intimidation. I'm like, I don't care if it costs me more or longer.
Yeah.
I'm going to a regular gas
I
station.
need for it to be simple and easy.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I totally agree.
But those aren't simple and easy.
No.
Because
No,
you've got to
they're not.
go inside. They won't let you pay at the pump.
Yep.
And then, so if you go inside with a credit card, they want you to prepay a certain amount on your credit card.
Yeah.
And so now you're trying to guesstimate how much you're putting in. And so anyway, thank you, DW, for bringing that up.
Well,
Anyway, that wraps up our show. We'll see you next week.